Hey, this is Bewitch Banter. We're two best friends.
One skeptical, Amy over there by the fireside chat today.
And our resident believer, Krista, on my other side.
We talk about the spooky, the spiritual, and the supernatural of things.
And today we are covering Lilith. Have you ever heard of it?
I have. It's a goddess, right? I thought.
No.
I thought she was.
Well, it depends who you're talking to, maybe. Let me put Coltrane down for a second. I was trying to use Coltrane as clickbait so people watch.
I would watch anytime. Thanks, Will Coltrane.
And for everyone who's listening, we have a video podcast that we do now on YouTube. And just to set the scene, I'm living my best life. I'm between two ferns. Well, actually, it's like two plants. And then we have my roaring fireplace, a real fireplace, nonetheless.
Oh my God.
It's nice and cozy in here. I've been loving it. It's been chilly in Phoenix, so we can finally pretend it's winter.
It actually has been chilly in Phoenix. Today I was like, well, not moving to Chicago if there's anything like that. That's another side conversation though.
Oh, Chris is just trying to get an emotional tug out of me for recording on air.
A little bit.
Chris is trying to move away and leave me.
She thinks it's forever. It's not forever though. I just need
she's being a bitch.
I need 6 months there, 6 months here,
Well, who doesn't want that? Every person
trying to meet my next Midwestern husband. Hi, if you're out there, hello. I'm not the problem. It's me. So
I mean, I would love that life too. I just don't have the moolah to live somewhere 6 months every
anyway,
month.
Amy's got a new fireside chat thing going. So
Crystal's like, drop the subject.
Yeah, because she thinks I'm gonna leave her. Fuck that.
Yeah, she is.
She's my only friend, man.
And then I'm gonna leave you in spite. I said I was gonna get another friend named Krista.
Impossible. Actually, speaking of friends, I did want to do a quick shout out to people back home from Danbury, Connecticut that said they listened over the holidays.
Awesome. Who was that?
Joe Ford, my friend Sarah, who likes all of our stuff and suggests topics. In fact, she suggested aliens last year, which you covered really weird shit going on with government conspiracies. They were at the wedding I attended over Thanksgiving, and they pulled me aside and said, "We love the podcast."
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Sarah. And also thank you, Elena. You know who you are, girl. Saving sisters' lives out here. You listen and like all our shit too. So thanks, Elena.
No, it's very sweet. It makes our days when people tell us that they listen. Because I mean, it might seem like common sense that people listen, but to be told that, it's awesome.
It actually, it's like, oh shit, people actually understand how much work and effort and energy and just love as a labor of love this all takes. For those of you who are starting to catch on and keep the fire roaring like it is behind Amy over there.
No pun intended. Okay, now Lilith. So I think this is going to be a really cool topic. I'm excited to cover this. She's actually known to be Adam's, it depends who you ask, but Adam's first wife from Adam and Eve from the Bible.
Oh shit, the motherfucker got her first wife?
I never heard any of this before. Have you?
I didn't know that motherfucker was getting around.
This story is about over 4,000 years old, and it's about a tale of her being a witch and a demon. Yes. But at the same time, she is a feminist icon today, and that didn't really change until the 20th century when women started to own the narrative of the story and really saw that actually it's really cool. She is probably the first feminist ever in folklore, or a tale of her ever in time, the first one being portrayed.
Oh my God.
Her literary tale, which I thought was really interesting, and I've never heard of her.
I'm still stripped out that Adam got it on though with somebody else.
This is a great story because it even has to do with sex, women wanting sex a certain way. This touches everything we cover in Bewitch Banter, which isn't really sex, but
I mean,
also
Hello, it is the problem. It's me now because yes, I do always.
We do not cover it that much though.
I'm pretty much always thirsty. So
well, we know that. You don't need to give a disclaimer for that.
Well, those who are new, now you know. Now you see the face of the thirsty one, and maybe that's actually scary. I don't know, but hi.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. It's cool because it entails everything, even what the millennial movement of witchcraft and all that stuff.
I had no idea she was related to the Bible, but I thought was like a witchcraft figure or modern day practicing witch.
She's not really even in the Bible, but we'll get to it. But she is a character in the Christian and more the Judaism lens.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Hit me, baby. One more time.
Her tale now is used to illustrate basically the injustices of women throughout time.
Get
and
it, Lilith.
basically, it also tells us that she's the first feminist and she's the first woman to walk this earth and is still discriminated. The first one. There was no hope for us from day one, basically. Not to be a naysayer.
Boo.
Buzzkill. Sorry. She's now a symbol for a lot of people in the feminist community, which we're feminists, but we didn't know about this. But more to the more probably like Jewish leading beliefs.
Sure.
Or people who are not even Jewish, but like people who are departing from Judaism and trying to find their own identity.
Okay.
You actually may know her from the show, I always forget, Chilling Adventures with Sabrina. Did you ever watch that?
No.
It's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the newest one that came out on Netflix.
Oh, with the young girl.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So do you remember kind of like the evil lady who was always like haunting her a little bit? And after her? Okay. So her name is Madame Satan, and she is portrayed by Michelle Gomez. For all those people who actually know pop culture, unlike myself, she is a representative, the character of a witch and a demon, and the character is supposed to be Litlith. I thought this would be a really fitting thing to discuss at this point because it all has to do with like women's autonomy, seeing yourself as an equal, and fighting for your voice. And I thought that'd be a really good fitting thing to talk about because I think it was this past Tuesday, did you hear in the news of what got approved in Texas?
Is it good or bad?
Yeah.
No.
You know a lot of this I'm going to cover, but I wanted to just fill everyone up to what's happening and what just happened on Tuesday. If you haven't been keeping up with it, Texas summer 2022, they had banned abortions except to save a mother's life. And they have this law, but the problem is that doctors, now it's left up to them to interpret what is saving a mother's life. When is that crucial? Does she need to be like seconds away from death? Or could we predict that it might be something that might happen? And I wanted to also highlight while I'm talking about this, I watched this show on Hulu. It's called On the Brink. She interviewed all these women who were women who wanted children, but then they had these horrific things that happened, like the child would be born without a skull and it would like die immediately. She interviewed 22 of these women and I honestly just like cried the whole episode. It was so sad. And I was like, how could anyone watch this and not want to give women the healthcare they need? One woman, actually, she was so traumatized, went to get a hysterectomy because she never wants to have kids in her lifetime. Obviously, it's very sad, but I think everyone needs to be aware of how much this is happening. I want to get to what happened on Tuesday. Joe Biden's administration was trying to say that federally, it has to be a law that when it's a medical emergency, that they have to attend to it. It's like a federal law, and so states can't make laws going against that. So anyway, in Texas, the Supreme Court ruled that the U.S. government cannot enforce federal guidelines in their state. This isn't a pro-life argument anymore. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because a lot of religious extremists, or just not even extremists, just leaders in church, are fearful how they view Lilith as a demon, a bad tale, and not a feminist icon. And they are worried about why people are identifying with her. And so they call her the patroness of abortion. So Lilith, again, I said this at the top, is believed to be Adam's first wife from the tale of Adam and Eve, and in Jewish mythology. So because her name's nowhere in the Bible. The term Lilith or Lilith has been used in the book of Isaiah to describe a night creature associated with the wilderness. And even though she isn't mentioned in the Bible, it doesn't say anywhere that she was Adam's first wife. It still is a tale of Christians too. Sure. So it's known. It's not in the Bible though. The story of Lilith over 4,000 years has been something that I like. My story today might be different from someone else's story of Lilith because it's which version of the folklore did you get it from. But she was basically demonized because she wasn't subservient to Adam.
Love this bitch.
That's why for 4,000 years she's been made out to be this terrible demon, child-killing witch.
I love her.
She was described as a rebellious wife. She was a demon with long black hair and she preyed on newborn infants and seduced men. Actually, she didn't even seduce men. She was a succubus. So she would sleep with them as a demon. Some versions of the folklore go so extreme. So one of the versions is that she was actually made from the same dust as Adam.
Dust?
Yeah, that's kind of like that story of like the first day God made water. I don't know what he did. First day made bread. And so they were saying he made Adam from dust. And then they said her dust was partly of sediments and filth. So of course the woman's made from filth. So
of course.
This is like the story as old of time. One of the tales is that God first created animals, then Adam, and Adam watched them have sex, the animals, and they were like enjoying themselves. So he went to God and basically begged for a lover, a partner.
Always got to be about pleasure.
So it's like women were made to basically fulfill his pleasure. Again, she's less than, she's not made from pure dust. In this story.
Would you call it raunchy dust? Ratchet?
Oh,
filth.
That shit was ratchet when they made Lilith.
Yo, y'all don't know Amy is the ratchetest bitch I have ever met in my life. Okay, I'm talking slob on my knob, hip hop, like ratchet.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I knew you would. So like, right here.
I would definitely take that as a compliment. Okay, and they didn't have a happy marriage. They fought all the time. And Lilith was, of course, known as being opinionated and hard to deal with.
God forbid.
That bitch got a voice on her. She's standing up for her rights. And they didn't get along in the bedroom, which I think is freaking so weird that this is part of like religious talk. And this is why she's a big feminist, because Adam always wanted to be on top. Like basically because he wanted to be in the powerful position and she didn't want to be.
So she liked to ride the D. Okay. I see you, Lilith.
I was like, I want to ride on top. And he's like, no. And so she leaves his ass.
Oh my God. I fucking love this.
Is this the first porn of all time, too? So the tale is that she uttered God's name and then disappeared. Okay.
Oh, so she was trying to fuck God? The Almighty?
I don't think that's it. I think she was just like calling for him. And so he took her. Your head is such in the gutter sometimes.
I'm the thirsty one.
Let me tell the story though. So she leaves God's ass, or she leaves Adam's ass. Okay, she's left him out.
I'm gonna pee my pants. She just said she leaves God's ass. No, just the way it sounded. She leaves God's ass.
Well, she left his ass, and now she's in the Garden of Eden. Oh, do you like my ghetto storytelling of the Bible? She left his ass because she wanted to be on bottom. Okay.
Ghetto Bible Banter by Amy Holt's Fireside Chat.
That sounds like a great channel. I would tune in, right? But she left. She's in the Garden of Eden, and some versions of the tales that Adam actually forced himself on her, like forcefully, like
so he raped her. Great, awesome. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's in our first tale of how the world was created. Great. No wonder we're so messed up as a society. God sent 3 angels to Lilith, and she's at the Red Sea. And the angels are sent there to tell her that she better get her ass home to Adam and get on bottom. The Red Sea was known to be full of demons, and she was having sex with these demons and making her own little demon babies. She even fled to what is known the angel of poison and is considered to be the angel of death and the ruler of demons. That's where she fled to, or who she fled to.
Wait, not Satan?
Angel of poison and is considered to be the angel of death and the ruler of demons.
So basically Satan.
So she went to the bad boy.
Yes, right? Sign me up, Lilith. Me too.
They were supposed to be together, and he wasn't only known as her partner and lover, he was known as the father of Cain and rape of Eve. Whatever that means. Bible people, I don't know. The angels made it clear to Lilith that if she didn't go with them, she would die. They were going to make her basically drown her in the Red Sea. So I was like, damn.
Why do they gotta be so violent and so dramatic? And like,
why is it always after women too? It's like crazy to me that how sexist a lot of religions are, and people don't even recognize that because they're so brainwashed. think for a second to question it. I mean, I shouldn't say brainwash because I know it's a lot of what you're exposed to. And if you haven't been exposed to other things, you wouldn't know. Basically, she has a trick up her sleeve. She's like, you can't drown me because God told me I'm responsible for all children and there'll be no childbirth and people will die.
That is a power move, girl.
It was believed that she was responsible for boys for the first 8 days of their lives and then for girls the first 22 days of their life. She was like the goddess, I guess, that looked over children. Once God got the news that she wouldn't return to Adam, he visited her and told her that 100 children would die a day if she didn't return to Adam. So that's some emotional warfare there from God. I thought God was supposed to be pure and almighty. Why is he so angry and mean? I got a lot of questions to ask. At that point, she still won't return. And this is when he decides to make Eve from the rib of Adam. I want to cover also what the story of Lilith, it predates the Jewish tale, okay, we've been talking about. No one really actually knows where her origin story comes from before Judaism kind of owned that story, but several believe that she dates back to the ancient Babylonians, who were at that time she was more framed as a vampire, or a Mesopotamian myth that she was a succubi, which I mentioned before. The earliest stories that we know of Lilith date back to the Babylonians and the Sumerians, and the Babylonian Empire dates back to 1612 BC, to give you some kind of reference, like how many thousands of years she's been folklore character. Lilith at that time period is more known as Lilu or Lilitu, which is described instead of like thinking of an individual like goddess or individual spirit, she's actually like a group of demons, and that could be either or female or male. So she has switched genders, and they were described as being winged demons that tormented women during childbirth. They caused miscarriages and stole the lives of children who were breastfeeding. And they would also prey on the sick or the elderly. But they were more known for symbolizing the destruction of all these young children's lives that passed. This was a time when there was no science. Then there was a lot of miscarriages. There was a lot of infant mortality and all that. So it's like they're trying to put a name to the blame, I guess. The folklore surrounding Lilith, 7th century, had women recite incantations to protect themselves against Lilith. So you don't say, I know that. What's an incantation for our listeners?
And this bitch has clapbacks today. Is reciting a prayer or mantra aloud.
Yeah, or using charms. Anything like that, trying to like use magic or a charm. And they want to protect themselves during childbirth so she doesn't come visit them. One tradition was that women would inscribe their incantations on bowls and then bury them upside down in their house. And the idea is that the bowl would catch Lilith so she couldn't enter the house. Because think about this, they have dirt floors at the time period. Since she is associated with being a demon as well, you will see her referred in some texts as the serpent that tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden, the one who handed the apple. And there's artworks from the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo portrayed of Lilith, and you can see it's like a serpent snake in the torso of a woman. So it's to represent her. The take of what Lilith represents really depends on who you're talking to, which audience, which article are you clicking on? Are you looking at a Catholic lens? Or are you looking at this more of a scientific or historian lens? So it's kind of interesting. Modern feminists and many contemporary Jewish theologians interpret the story of Lilith as a symbol of freedom. And she's viewed as a woman who embraces her own strengths, sensuality, and sexuality, and that she was punished for having a voice and recognizing her sexual desires.
I love her.
She was also punished for insisting that she be treated as an equal to Adam, and for that reason, she was condemned to watch children die every day. She has a lot of influence today for feminists. Lilith is a name of a Jewish women's magazine, where their sole mission of the magazine is to create a safe space for Jewish women to learn about and discuss feminism as a platform.
Oh my God.
And they do a lot of great things along with women's issues. There is a Lilith fund. It's one of the, if you Google Lilith, they'll pop up right away. And it provides direct financial and emotional support to Texans that are forced to travel to access abortion.
Love that.
Which of course has leaders in the religious community angry, and they call her the anti-Mary, and again, the patroness of abortion.
Oh God.
They have their panties in a twist and they're all angry. Why are they always so angry? What?
You know why? I know exactly why. And I say this all the time, but let me bring it back around. It's no one's business who loves who or who's having sex with who. Mind your business. And because they're not having their own sex and they're minding other people's business while they're not getting fucked, that's why they're so angry.
I think it's deeper than that. I think they want power, and you get power and people hate people and they unite around you. Anyway, I don't want to get into that too much. Let's keep going.
I'm obsessed with her.
You're welcome.
You're welcome to actually, Corey. Thank you.
Hey, I did all the research. There's a national literacy program named after Lilith and an annual music festival that donates all its profits to battered women's shelters and breast cancer research institutes called the Lilith Affair. Going back to TikTok, which we talked a lot about in Witch Talk, but there's actually something called Jewitchcraft, which is the combination of goddess worship, Wiccan beliefs, along with Judaism.
Okay. And that's, for me, this is just goes to show the difference, again, in power of brainwashing in religions. I knew nothing about Judaism being connected with paganism and
witchcraft.
Right? And I was brainwashed in Catholicism, right? And Christianity, steeped in Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. That's so cool.
Yeah. And just laughing at myself. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, Barbie. Yeah, Barbie.
Hey, you look like the original Barbie right now. You just need your glasses.
A lot of women have argued that, not even just women, there may be men, but actually goddesses were part of the Judaism religion until it became stricter over the years, more patriarchal and monotheistic. They got rid of that version of Judaism, and they were like, it wasn't there at the origin, though. There were goddesses, but it's been like, you know how you say whitewash, it's like male washed. And because it became more mainstream, and that the gender inclusive version of Judaism is no longer there. So they don't want to be a part of it. It's like, this is kind of like how they want to combine their religions.
That's so, can you say it again?
So the popular term actually is Jewitch, like Jewish, witch, Jewitch, and they are the Jewitchism.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's cool.
Yeah, I should explain that because it makes sense if you're looking at it on the screen, but if you hear someone say it, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. And you can see it's on the rise. There's thousands of Facebook groups that popped up, and then 24,000 followers of the Jewish accounts on TikTok, or Jewitch accounts on TikTok and Instagram. And in these communities, Litlith is a feminist icon, and these groups it's just become a safe haven for marginalized communities and people who don't identify with like traditional religions that are fighting for women's rights and reproductive rights.
It all starts there in the marginalized communities, including our queer communities. And P.S. Drag Race is on tonight. That's why I'm wearing my rainbow. I'm so excited. But yeah, oh my God, Lilith.
That was the tale of Lilith. What'd you think?
I think that's my new drag name.
Lilith? Okay, I love it. Oh, and it's a very popular name these days, actually. I forgot to mention that. A lot of people are naming their kids Lilith.
Because of knowing her story?
Some people might just like the name. It's like any name, right? But it is a very popular name now.
Oh my God. How do we pay homage? How do we pray to her right now?
I don't know. But it was funny. There was one article I stumbled across. It was like this Catholic priest, and he was talking about how she's like a demon and witch and how dark her origin story was. And I guess the Lilith Fund actually during some hurricane, they went in, but they were going to provide abortion relief for people who needed it in that time. And the Catholic writer's like, who would ever think you would go in and give abortions when already so many people have been killed? He didn't understand.
Brava, my friends.
Thank you.
Bad baddies is all we're going to feature now. Bad bewitches.
Is that all we're going to cover? Not the Christmas tree?
No, religions are in spiritualism too, but it always comes down to women being that badass rock queen at the core of it all.
But it's just crazy to me that the first tale of time, basically, there had to be a feminist character asking for her voice because she was being treated like crap. It's from the very day one, it's women have been told you're less than. And how far we've came. Look at us bad bitches on air. Can you imagine? The demons would hate this. Me having a microphone.
Us talking back to Adam. Oh God, us demanding to ride him. Oh no.
You need to be on bottom. I like how that's like part of the argument, though.
Of course, it's about their pleasure. Whatever. Anyway,
Great episode, I would say myself. I'm sitting by the fire, loving life, and
she's so humble, you guys. Humble Holt.
well, should we say bye on that note?
I think we shall.
Peace be with you. Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchbanter@gmail.com. Credits, music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcast edited and produced by Kristen Hinds and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.